What the business, YouTube? This video is strictly educational and informative, as all my videos are. Perform at your own risks. With that being said, episode 63, my name's Jay Florida, and today's career of discussion is a fall guy. So, what is a fall guy? A fall guy is a person who is blamed for a mistake, crime, or wrongdoing, often to deflect responsibility from the actual culprits. Now, to give you a piece of history, crime has existed since the dawn of humanity, with the first formal legal systems defining and codifying crimes such as the Code of Hammurabi, emerging around 4,000 years ago. And as far as jailing systems, jail has existed for roughly 4,000 years, with the earliest documented detention facilities appearing around 1000 BC in ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt. However, their purpose has completely been transformed over time. A few basic requirements to becoming a fall guy include tracking criminals, aligning a story, and preferably a proven criminal background. Now, you can start this career as soon as today, and it shouldn't cost you anything. As far as your range as an entry-level fall guy, you can expect to make $10,000 to $500,000, with a few things affecting how much you take home being the crime committed that you're taking a fall for, negotiation skills, and ties to the criminal underworld. A day in life as a fall guy can be described as misdirecting law enforcement, payment management, legal battles, and conviction. As far as opportunity, huge emphasis on a proven criminal background, since most people that are looking for these services aren't looking for flip-floppers, since of course they themselves don't want to go to jail. For that reason, the fall guy scores yellow for opportunity. And as far as examples, we are actually short of a list for this episode, since this is not a career that does fame or notoriety. However, if you're wanting some more information on what it's like to be a fall guy or even how to become a fall guy, you can do some outreach to your local county jail or inmate facility. Moving on to our fact moment segment of this episode, starting off with fact number 1. The longest prison sentence handed out in recent history was given to Thai pyramid scheme operator Chamoy Tipiaso in 1989, who was sentenced to 141,078 years in jail. Fact number 2, as of recording, Mississippi has the highest number of murders per capita, with around 20 homicides per 100,000 residents. And fact number 3, methamphetamine is the most heavily trafficked narcotic in the United States, accounting for 47% of all federal drug trafficking offenses. And if you guys want to see more of this content and better, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, send a hype, the whole business. And for our last segment, before we move on to the circle of influence, we have health risks and mitigation. Starting off with infectious diseases such as HIV, hepatitis B and C, and tuberculosis as a result of overcrowding and poor ventilation. Mental health crises such as depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and PTSD as a result of confinement and isolation. And medical neglect due to systematic understaffing, limited access to preventative care, and medical copays. As far as mitigation, don't go to jail, don't go to prison. However, if you are insisting on following through with this career, especially since backing out can have consequences, you can advocate for prison reform. Now, that does it for our primary segment. I'm gonna go ahead and give the floor to my co-host for the circle of influence. What the business, YouTube? Starting off the circle of influence, we have respect. Is this a career or position that brings me respect and dignity? Now, some people look at it as standing tall. In reality, you're taking a rap for perpetrators of crime. That way they can continue to perpetrate crime. And for that reason, the fall guy scores red. Now, moving on, we have growth. Is this a career or position that presents me with the opportunity to grow from $100,000 earning threshold? And for this segment, The Fall Guy scores green, with sources online citing that the Fall Guy has the potential to make as much as $500,000 in a single year, though the amount you make correlates with the punishment being handed down. In other words, you probably won't be spending any of that money anytime soon. That's if you even get it. Next, we have gore. Is this a career or position that will have me dealing with an abundance of blood, violent action, grotesque imagery, or scenery? And for this segment, the Fall Guy scores green, as in no, you should not be dealing with any of the mentioned before. And for our last ideological standpoint, we have moral conflict. Is this a career or position that will have me compromise any of my foreseeable morals, or have me making decisions that will weigh heavy on me later on? Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't kill. The basic set of guidelines. And for this segment, the Fall Guy scores red, as you'll probably be spending every day in prison wondering why you took the rap for a crime that you didn't commit, stripping yourself of life's simple pleasures. Now, moving on to the statistical side of things, we have gender demographics, where information was very far and few, but it is safe to assume that this is a position led by men. Next, we have ethnic demographics, where there was no information to be found whatsoever. And for our last standpoint, we have location demographics. Instead of top 10 states, we have a list of states with the most conviction and incarceration rates, starting off with Louisiana, followed by Georgia and New Jersey, and closing things out with Oklahoma and Arizona. Now that does it for the circle of influence. I'm gonna go ahead and give the floor back to Florida. I'm back. Just to summarize the Fall Guy, it is some really risky business. You can either make a lot of money or you can get fully finessed. It's not an oddity to hear criminals shorting other criminals on payment. Here you are thinking that you're gonna make $100,000 for a 2-year bid. You get a call from home and they only seen $15,000. Not to mention all the things that you have to deal with generally as an inmate. This career is a fine example of not all money is good money, which is a reason why I started this channel, why I started this series, because everyone has a role to play. Everyone wants to make money, but what is the true cost of this money that I'm making? With that being said, it does look like we have a full episode here today. The word of the day is promise. Self-help resources on the board. As always, I'll leave it down in the description. And again, to show your support, if you want to see more of this content and better, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, send a hype, the whole business. And I'll see you guys on episode 64.